For me, I think the biggest thing that football taught me was how to overcome adversity.
At some point in your life, you're going to have some tough times.
You have to have that next play mentality.
That cohesiveness and that working together, that's really something special that you can't get in a lot of other areas.
When you practice that and you live that in other phases of your life, it becomes second nature because all you know how to do is fight.
It's not an easy game. If it were easy, everyone would do it.
You start to appreciate the smaller contributions that people make. You don't just look at the big one because you knew it took 6 or 7 other guys who are unsung.
And you can't take shortcuts and be successful.
Doing what they do to make it possible for the guy getting the press clippings or whatever it might be.
In this game, whether it's as a coach or a player.
So I would certainly say that you definitely got a very quick lesson in how to overcome adversity playing football.
Welcome to another edition of Talking Ball with the Czar. I'm Emory Hunt, the Czar of the Playbook, here on the campus of Czar University with head football coach Adrian Jones. Coach, I appreciate you taking time.
Thanks. Let me coming by.
Well, here's the thing, man. You were a star at Southern High School in nearby Durham. You also starred at North Carolina Central, which is also in Durham, and you were successful at coaching at both. You went back and won a title, a state championship at your high school. You had some success coaching at Central. How was it, or why was it important for you to go back to where you came from and coach at both schools or both spots? And how did that help prep you for this road of success?
Well, it was very important that I went back. My old football coach, Coach Gill, the head football coach, and the defensive coordinator, Coach Schenkel, were like the father figures on the football field. They were very intelligent guys that were students of the game. And when I went to North Carolina Central, I already was way ahead of the curve. So, with them helping me out, they were very they were very outgoing. They were very supportive. When I went to North Carolina Central, they went to all my home games. And, at North Carolina Central, I had a Hall of Famer, Larry Little, who was also that father figure on the field. But the thing that he brought was that tough love. He didn't take anything. He wanted to make sure that you did the best. But at the end of the day, he loved you. And those 3 guys I still communicate with. So when the opportunity knocked for me to take the job at Southern Durham High School, I was nervous as I don't know what. I didn't know, what to say, but I knew that my love was deep for Southern Durham High School, and I wanted to be the head coach there. And went there and wowed them in the interview, and they knew how much I loved it. And it was just a great opportunity. It's always good to have a coach that has played in blood, sweat, and tears on a field that he played on, and they knew that I loved the game. They knew that I loved my school, and so I took it and ran with it. And credit goes to Coach Mack after the championship game. Coach Mack texts me from a South Alabama number, has South Alabama wide receiver coach. So I'm thinking, okay, Coach, I got players for you. But what's funny is he wasn't recruiting the players; he was recruiting me, and he wowed me in my interview. It was, he wanted me. And I wasn't sure, our guys, we won a state championship and all those guys were coming back. And I was telling my wife, I don't know, why don't I just stay here and win another one? Well, she's like, what do you accomplish by doing that? You always wanted to go back to coach at your university. Why not go now? And when I went to interview, my head was saying I wasn't going to take the job, but the process and what Coach Mack had in front of him, I bought in and believed in it. And man, we had a good run, and just to be back at North Carolina Central, and he let me talk to the kids and tell them how much you love it. And when we played North Carolina Central, those guys didn't know what it meant. We played North Carolina A&T. They didn't know what it meant to play North Carolina A&T. So he gave me a chance to sit there and pour out what it meant to play North Carolina A&T. And then once I did that, the coaches kind of realized how important it was. That was a rival game and how important that rival game was. But all I can say is, man, it's been a great ride. It's been a great run. Been fortunate enough to be right here in the area, and one day hopefully I'll be able to write a book. I've been at my high school I played at. I've been at my college that I played at twice, and here at Shaw University now, trying to pave my own way.
Now, you were an outstanding cornerback in college, but you coached all across the ball, on both sides of the ball. Now, do you think it's important for you to have that experience in coaching multiple positions as far as becoming a head coach? Because a lot of times guys, let's say I play running back, and I may want to just only focus on running back, then become an offensive coordinator and not worry about other sides of the ball if I become a head coach. But having coached multiple positions, did that help develop you as a coach?
It definitely developed me as a coach. Going in, like you said, I was a defensive guy, defensive-minded guy, and new cornerback position. Coached at North Carolina Central, coached the cornerbacks, coached the safeties, something that I'm used to coaching. And when I took the job at Southern Durham High School, I became the offensive coordinator. And one thing I know about football is a good defensive-minded guy can become a great offensive coordinator. I knew how to break down a defense. So being a defensive-minded guy, I went into an offensive coordinator position as, okay, what hurts a defense? And so that really helped me out a lot, becoming a head coach, and not only that, being an offensive coordinator, trying to dissect a defense. That really helped out a lot. When I went back on my second stint at North Carolina Central, Coach Mack wanted me to be the running back coach. I think that helped me out because I had to learn a little bit more X's and O's, not just how to hand the ball off and steps as a running back, but I had to also intermingle with the offensive line coach. So I learned offensive line play very good because I had to tell my running backs where they fit and what the offensive linemen are doing, who are they pulling to, and all that kind of stuff. So I think that really took me to another level. And now that I'm here at Shaw University as the head coach, not only am I the head coach, but now I'm also the offensive coordinator again. So now I had to make sure I interviewed an offensive line coach that knew what he was talking about. I wanted somebody to be like Coach O, who's at North Carolina Central University, probably one of the brightest young offensive line coaches there is right now. And our offensive line coach, Coach Dargan, who played at Duke University as a running back, very intelligent as well. And so when he talks offensive line play, I understand that we're on the same page. So it's definitely an advantage to be able to coach several positions. And that's not just the only ones I coached. I coached quarterbacks, I've coached a little bit of receivers. So I've done everything but the O-line. But now with being behind those two great O-line coaches, I think that I could one day probably coach an offensive line.
Now, last season, or this past season, was your first year as a head coach here at Shaw University, and your teams got better each and every week to the point where you won 2 out of your last 3 games, almost upset Winston-Salem State. We know they're a powerhouse in the CIAA and also Division II. At what point of the season did you feel as though the light came on for those guys, and have you still seen that light on during winter and spring workouts?
Well, that light came on against Fayetteville State University. We played in a monsoon, and we probably should have canceled the game and played the next day. We probably would have won the game, but it was raining hard, and all I remember is the guys had so much energy, and I'm telling the coach, like, it needs to rain every week because whatever they did the night before, we need to continue to do it. And the light came on. We lost 7-6, but we had several times chances to win the game. And what the kids did, they bought into the system. And it's a process when you come in as a new coach. You coming in with guys from the old regime, they're setting their ways. And there's nothing wrong with them setting their ways, but you have your own way. And I had to come in and let people know that we're going to do it this way. So Fayetteville State, they really started realizing, okay, we can win. We right there at it. And it kept getting better and better. And I think we took a step back. We played Livingstone. We took a step back. We beat John C. Smith, and that kind of got us rolling. We played Winston-Salem State. We had them for homecoming. They beat Winston-Salem State the year before that, for their homecoming. So it was a lot at stake. A couple of balls bounced the wrong way, a couple of calls we don't agree with. But at the end of the day, it's football. You're not going to get great calls all the time. And we gave them a run for their money, and they scheduled us again this year for homecoming. So we want to pay them back. But the thing that I can say about our guys is they have gotten better. It's amazing how, if you look at the team that we had last year and you look at where we're at now, we're miles ahead of the curve. And that's a product. That's something that I give credit to my coaching staff, going out recruiting the right guys for the program, getting guys in. Well, you don't have too many guys coming in your program in January. Well, we had 8 guys that come on this campus that were either junior college transfers, transfers from another university, you name it. We got 8 guys here on campus, and they changed our program. They work hard in the weight room. They learn what it means to go in the weight room and attack it every day. You know, the schedule that we have. We playing North Carolina Central. We playing New Haven. We playing Monroe College out of Ohio. So teams that we really don't know about, and they got to know that each and every day those teams are working hard. So we got to try to work harder than them each and every day. So they've bought in. Winter condition was amazing. Spring ball, we did very well on offense. We did very well on defense with some of the keys that we lost on the defense. But we're doing nothing but getting better here, and as a coaching staff and as players. And sky's the limit for the program. We just got to stay healthy. We stay healthy in the spring, and we got 45 guys out of about 80 guys that are staying here for the summer to work out to get better.
Coach, one of my favorite questions is asking coaches about their philosophy, and there's many different areas of philosophy we can dive into, but what's one piece of your philosophy that you feel as though is paramount to having success here at Shaw?
Well, the one thing going into the coaching philosophy is we have a motto that we say, something good happen, keep playing, something bad happen, keep playing. And we always preach that because football is up and down. You're going to have good times, you're going to have bad times. So our guys, I want them to keep playing no matter what. We want to be fast, we want to be physical, and we want to be smart. That's one thing that I buy into, being fast, physical, and smart. Of course, we're a spread offense, no huddle. And we want to be tempo. You know, we want to keep people off guard. We want to have the coach up top being able to dissect the defense and communicate with me and let me know what he sees. So everybody has to be in tune to what's going on. But not only that, making sure that our kids are students of the game. You know, we want to be able to, if we don't see something, then be able to come off the field and say, Coach, this is what's going on. And that helps us out a lot. But the biggest thing is you got to be disciplined. You got to be a disciplined football team. And with that coaching philosophy, my philosophy is special teams win championships. Everybody says defense wins championships, offense sell tickets, and that's true. Defense does win championships. But at this league, if you're the best special teams, you can win a lot of football games. And that's what we hanging our hat on, special teams. And not only that, but all 3 phases of the game. But special teams is one that, just looking at all the teams in this conference, is we don't really pay a lot of attention about special teams. And I learned that from Coach Mack. You know, Coach Mack had an excellent special teams coordinator, and he was a stickler about making sure everything was perfect. And we just want to be as perfect as possible. But the biggest thing is some good, keep playing. Some good happen, keep playing. Some bad happen, keep playing. And also just, you know, trust the process. That's another little word we throw in there. Trusting the process, and trusting if I tell you that 1 + 1 = 3, you believe it. Even though we know 1 + 1 is not equal 3, but kids buying into what we're preaching. And you know, like you said, everybody has their own philosophy. But our biggest thing is that philosophy as a whole is just playing fast, physical, and smart.
Now, I'm glad you brought up the CIAA. How tough is this league that you compete in?
What's crazy is it's like you look back and you look at everybody's like on an even plane. There's nobody, you know, Winston might be a little bit over everybody, but at the end of the day, I kind of looked at it coming in like, man, it's anybody's. Just like this year, it's anybody's. It could be St. Aug, who was at the bottom of our bracket. It could be us, who was, you know, in the middle. John C. Smith. I mean, you name it. It can come from anybody. You look at the other division, Virginia Union, Virginia State, Chowan, Bowie State. They all were like neck and neck. Elizabeth City, who came in and ended up being 5-5, and all those guys were neck and neck up until the end. So we just got to get out fast and win some non-conference games and get confidence going into the conference. But I think that we have a very good chance. So like I said, we stay healthy and we play Shaw football, mistake-free. I think we have a very good chance. You're seeing us in the CIAA championship.
I could tell you're a guy with a lot of passion, Coach. I mean, to go to your old high school, coach them up to win a championship, go back to Central, coaching twice with the Eagles, it shows how much you love football. So what is it you say that you love most about this game?
what I love most about the game is that it builds you for the real world. You know, it built me to where I'm at today. It teaches you how to handle adversity. You know, because always adversity. Whether you know you're not doing well in class, you got to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning and run and hear a coach yelling at you, telling you this and that. You know, balancing out that with going out, being a college student, going to clubs and hanging out with your girlfriend and all that stuff. So it teaches you how to time management is one of the biggest things. And I was a stickler of time management. Under Coach Broadway, he was big with being on time. And on time didn't mean if he said 2 o'clock, it didn't mean 2 o'clock. It meant 1:45, you know. So it has made me who I am today. No doubt, you know. And credit goes to my parents as well. But without football, I can definitely say I wouldn't be sitting in this seat right here today. I probably wouldn't have graduated from college if it wasn't for football. So a lot of times when we recruit guys, yeah, we want them to play football, but we also say use us to get what you need, and that's an education. So education is key, and like I said, football has got me my education. And also when I went back to North Carolina Central, I went back to get my master's. So I mean, it's done a lot for me, and you know, credit goes to you know my athletic ability to be able to get you know what I want out of life.
And you look at the fact that you're coaching here at Czar University and HBCU, the tradition-rich HBCU schools across the country. How significant is coaching at an HBCU, and what does that mean to you?
Well, I am HBCU. You know, I went to North Carolina Central. It means a lot. You know, a lot of times, you know, I was heavily recruited from several big-time D1 schools, but at the end of the day, I didn't do what I was supposed to do in the classroom, so that didn't happen. But one thing I can say that I would, if I had to go back and pull my grades up again, pull them up, I wouldn't change a thing. North Carolina Central was the greatest thing that ever happened to me. You know, it makes you a man. You know, a lot of times you go to those PWIs that, you know, they kind of hand deliver stuff to you. You know, something wrong with your bill at a black HBCU, you got to go and see what's going on. You got to handle that. Where at a PWI, those things don't happen. You know, you get hands-on with your advisors and your teachers. You know, you're not just a social security number. You are Adrian Jones or whoever you are. You get to talk and intermingle with your teachers, and just a small family-oriented place. And, you know, I come from family. That's what I'm big on. I'm a stickler about family, and it taught me a little bit more than family. You know, going to a predominantly white school out of high school, it was like a shock, but it was amazing, you know, just to be at a HBCU and see how much people care about you, you know. And I'm not saying that no one else cares about you, but it's a little different here at Czar University and any other HBCU. You get a lot out of the brand. You know, we're not heavily on TV and stuff, but if you have a chance to go to HBCU and you're being recruited, I mean, why not?
Coach, we've been here talking ball about philosophy. We talked about the program, talked about last season. If you're a student athlete, you know nowadays kids, even though I feel like the same amount of schools have always been around, but we remember growing up, we only knew about 10 of them. You know, but now there's so many options. So why would a student athlete choose Czar University?
Well, first I would say, why not choose Czar University? One thing, it's a historically black college. It's one of the first black colleges ever assembled. We have the best president in HBCU. She is a savvy individual, Dr. DeBroy. She's a very on hand. She cares about the students. Students are first. She want to make sure she takes care of the students. Social media savvy, you know, in this day and age, you got to be so heavily on social media. So she understands that. She understands the brand that she wants to. That's why it says Czar U Epic. You know, I mean, it's all about being the best, and we're trying to be the best. That's why they hired me to try to change the program to be the best, and to bring in great young men to, you know, carry on the tradition. You know, the alumni here are very outstanding alumni, and they want people to come in to become a Shaw Bear and leave a Shaw Bear, and they want to continue the legacy. And when you meet with these older alumni, it's amazing the stories that they tell, and it's amazing to hear what they had and what we have now. So they have to cherish the moments of the success. And like I said, why not choose Shaw University? You got a great coaching staff, you got great teachers, you got a great president, you have a great athletic director. It's right downtown Raleigh, the capital. What better place to be than Shaw University right now, where it's the city is booming and it's everything to do.
All right, Coach, I like how you building this program. Again, you guys finished strong last season. Looking forward to see you guys start off on the right foot and keep this thing rolling. And we wish you the best of luck moving forward.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
All right.